Y'all ready? Good evening. The Luray Town Council regular meeting is called to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Danielle, will you do the roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor Willard,
Yes.
Mr. Vickers,
Here.
Mr. Goffmeyer. Here. Mr. White,
Here.
Mr. Pettit,
Here.
Mr. Sowers.
Here.
Mr. Butler.
Here.
All right. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? All right, hearing none. Consent agenda?
Mayor, I'd like to move to approve the following consent agenda. The minutes of the regular council meeting of July the 14th, and the accounts payable totaling $150,842.56.
Second.
We have First and second. Danielle?
Mr. Pettit,
Yes.
Mr. Sowers,
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Mr. Vickers,
Yes.
Mr. Goffmeyer.
Yes.
Mr. White.
Yes.
Thank you. General citizen comments, we do not have anyone signed up to speak. Let's see, yes.
Mr. Herman is here. May want to say something now during general citizen.
Throw that at you, Susan.
Thanks for being here with us.
No, not at all. It's
Yeah.
great to see everybody. I literally just want to take 2 minutes, not much of your time, just to say thank you. I am so appreciative of the support from the town, you all, the town council, Brian Chrisman, town manager, just everybody. It has been absolutely unbelievable. I'm can't tell you what it means to our project that we got, this loan from you all and the grant from the town. It's just, hugely impactful. We're not there yet, right? We still have more work to do, and we're working really hard. But this was a real kind of watershed moment for us. I just wanted to say thank you and tell you how appreciative I am, and we all are for your support.
I think we should say
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, first and foremost, congratulations on the award and a strong application. We're happy to support the project. I think it's be very exciting to see it come to fruition. So we appreciate your interest in our community.
Absolutely, 100%. So as I said, working hard to kind of, two main work streams, right? So get the rest of the financing in place, and then finalizing kind of the design development and site plan, which actually we were on site today, kind of walking through the latest site plan, incorporated some of the great ideas. Thank you again that you helped us unlock a few months ago, which is fantastic. Really hoping that we can kind of get everything in place so we can maybe be under construction by the end of the year, which, at one point I think was kind of a stretch goal, and now we've got pretty good line of sight for like a way that we could, potentially get there. So working hard against that goal. So, again, so I can't thank you all enough. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good, thank
I have a
you.
request. I know it's way too soon, but as soon as you get some of the renovations done, I know we'd love to take a walkthrough so I'd have more of it in my head what it's gonna look like.
100%. I've been thinking about this. I would be happy to and love to kind of give you all a tour of the building, if that's, what you might call it, and can kind of give you an overview of what the plans look like, right? And then we can kind of walk through and see how those kind of come to life in the space. I would love to do that. So
Thank you.
yes,
It'd make it
let's,
easier for me to talk to people.
100%, absolutely. I'm the same way. To kind of physically see it would be super helpful. So that would be, I'd love to do that. So I'll work with Brian and kind of figure out what works for you all, and we'll make it happen.
That'd be great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
I'm just curious. What's it gonna make it look like?
All right, board commission reports. We have Luray Downtown Initiative. Ms. Jackie Wood, would you join us at the podium?
Good evening, Council, Madam Mayor. First of all, on behalf of myself and the Board of Directors for the Luray Downtown Initiative, we thank you again for your funding this year. We greatly appreciate the support and the faith that you guys continue to have in us as we continue to keep advancing our Main Street forward. So we really do appreciate that. Couple of real quick notes. I am currently working with a few prospective business owners for some of the available lease spaces that we have on Main Street. So I'll be in meetings most of this week with a few folks that are looking to maybe rent those buildings to start their businesses. So I'll be giving you more updates as we advance forward, going down the line. Friday night will be the movies at the Ralph Dean Park. The movie is If. So bring your friends, family, grandchildren, children, whatever. And we're going to start that at 7. Should it rain, we will be doing it on the 16th. So we have that going on. Of course, Sunflower Festival is the 30th of this month. I can't believe we're in the middle of August. This is crazy. So we have that going on. But we've got a lot of things in the works, things going on. We have been asked to host the 2026 Main Street Directors Retreat. So we will be getting that put together. That's going to be February 4th through the 6th. So I'm very honored that they have selected us, and it's going to be exciting to have everyone come to Luray and see what we've had, how far we've come since maybe the last time they were here. So other than that, thank you all for everything, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, Jay.
But real quick, I did see the Porch and Vine posted for, so what's the timeline?
I'm being told September.
Okay.
That's the
I think
target.
that is what you told us last time.
Yes, September is the target. So, but yeah, they're starting to hire wait staff and so on. So, and I think that their model looks really good because they want to get their people trained, and get all those rough edges smoothed out before they open, which is smart.
Very good.
And our new restaurant Taste has been doing very well.
Every time I ride by, it looks like it's full.
Yeah, they have been doing very well.
Very good.
Awesome.
Any other questions, council? Thank you. All right, next we have public hearings. Let's see, SUP 25-001, application green for manufactured home. Mr. Chrisman?
Thank you, Mayor. Council, in your packet, requested to conduct a public hearing tonight. There's been a special use permit request to locate a manufactured home on Hilltop Lane. It will probably be assigned at 11 Hilltop Lane, but currently that address has not been assigned. Ms. Green owns the property next door, which is 9 Hilltop Lane, and she built a structure there back in, I think it was 2000. She built another one there, 2000. You're close to 2000. This is in the R3 district, 1,056 square feet. We the size of the house, there's an asterisk there by the number 3. Mid-process, the applicant informed the manufacturer that they were actually desiring a 3-bedroom unit. The outside dimensions of the house did not change, so there's no impact at all on the setbacks. I just put a note there. And of course, they're required to have a special use permit per our ordinance. There are 8 items listed for full compliance with a manufactured home in the R3 district. In addition to those, we had noted a few things at both the planning commission and with the applicant. I don't think any of these issues are going to be a problem, but I wanted to list them and have them in the record. Of note, planning commission held public hearing on July 16th. It was unanimous recommendation for approval by the vote.
All right.
My bad.
That's okay. I'm sorry. It's 7 to 7. We'll open the public hearing. We don't have anyone signed up to speak. Mr. Chrisman, do you receive any comments by phone or email?
Any comments about this, Mayor?
Okay. We can close the public hearing. Council.
Sorry, I got a little excited.
That's okay. You kind of got me. I'm like, we're here.
Water pressure problems on Hilltop Lane. That's not owned by that's the one that's not owned by the town.
Hilltop Lane is, the right-of-way is not owned by the town. We do a little maintenance up there. There is a 4-inch line about 2/3 of the way down that road. We've not noticed any water pressure issues up there. We've checked a couple of those meters. On the old service lines to individual homes, especially those farther back off the road, they've had some issues over the years with old galvanized lines. But our system out at the roadway.
Lexington Road is okay.
Yeah, and this particular house is right next to one. There was an old house there. You may have seen it. It was on our derelict and blighted structures list there on Hilltop Lane. And looking at the old permit, at that time, the plat had indicated that structure was to be torn down. And they reassigned that address number to the new structure in the back because the front building was basically uninhabitable. That demo has not taken place yet, but we're gonna be working with Ms. Green separately from this application to try to get that done.
Great, thank you.
I mean, the planning commission did their due diligence. Staff did the same with all those conditions. I think council desires more housing where appropriate for people. So I would move that the special use permit 25-001 be approved with the conditions as presented.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion?
Bring it up.
Yeah,
Go for it.
this is not discussion basically in contrary to
Okay.
what the motion is, but just while we're on this topic, and I know Councilman Sowers and I have talked about this in the past, on manufactured homes, and this one, when you look at the view, it's blurred. It looks like the roof is maybe a 312 at best. May even be a 212, I don't know. It's hard to tell with that.
I think they're threes.
Oh, 312, okay.
Yeah.
And just for conversation here, I'd like for us to look maybe in the future. I don't think this is gonna be a problem at all with this one, because there's some other homes, I believe, in that area that have this same appearance as far as a very flat roof on these manufactured homes. But I would like to see in the future, just like with what happened with the one over near the fairgrounds, that goes into a neighborhood that does not have similar homes of that style, it really stands out and looks a lot different. And the biggest characteristic that catches your eyes that is a very flat roof. So I'm not opposed to this one. I just like to bring up that
Yeah, same.
if we can at some point discuss maybe making a change to where in the future, any manufactured home.
We've got some good news for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cause I'd just like to see that change to where that one feature.
Yeah, a 6-12 picture steeper is gonna be required, it's gonna be proposed to be added to the ordinance for all manufactured homes townwide.
Perfect. Yeah.
Didn't know that was
That's
coming.
good.
Okay, good.
It's in the, Jason and I just worked on it this past week. So planning commission will get it first, and then you guys will get it. The other thing that's in that, revision is continuing with the 8 criteria, including what's significant for Luray is the continuous masonry footer, or foundation, which is essential. And then also something that's been kicked around by both the planning commission and the town council, both in our joint meeting and some other things, is potentially making, manufactured homes by right in either R3 or R4 or both. That proposal will be working its way through as well, so you guys will have an opportunity to determine, do you wanna not only add the feature change for the roof peak, but also, do you wanna make them by right in R4 or R3 or both, as a removing a potential hurdle for, folks to be able to better, more affordably utilize manufactured homes in those zoning districts across the way. So,
That sounds great, and I think the key is that I don't have a problem with being a stick-built or a modular home.
Sure.
If aesthetically it's in keeping with the neighborhood that it's being put into, where you know, this isn't going into a vacant lot that neighbors around it, you know, looks totally different than the rest of the neighborhood.
Right.
But that's great, thank you.
so it's coming through, and you know, there's some advantages to that. They shed snow better. It's easier to build a snow load on a steeper roof pitch than it is a flat.
Yeah.
And they also gives them attic storage, whereas previously those houses do not have attic storage. With that steeper roof pitch, you put storage trusses on that house, you'd be able to have attic storage, which is important for some folks.
Ventilation.
Oh, yeah,
heating,
all
and
kinds of
all-
things.
So
yeah.
many things.
A lot of
Lot of
advantages, so
benefit.
you'll be seeing that shortly. That's probably gonna come through. Planning Commission's gonna see 2 of those, at their meeting on Wednesday. And then it'll leave you guys, earliest would be your September regular meeting. Yep, so it's coming.
All right, thank you.
Thank y'all, Brian.
Any other discussion? All right, we have a first and a second. Danielle, will you please call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Sowers?
Yes.
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Dolphmeyer?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Thank you. Item B, RZ 25-001, Great Southern Land Developers. Mr. Chrisman?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, in your packet, we don't get a whole lot of rezonings, but we got one this time. This is 62 Carolina Drive, which is at the very end. Currently, that lot is zoned limited industrial M1. The request is to rezone that parcel to B1 business. The Planning Commission held their public hearing last month, but they deferred action until their meeting day after tomorrow. So you guys won't get a recommendation from them until your September 8th meeting, which is why, basically, since we had already advertised this public hearing, we're gonna hold the public hearing tonight, but take no action on that topic tonight. So, among the things that, the staff had recommended that the planning commission and the council consider would be those 7 items that are listed there, in your staff report. Included in the packet, is the application, a zoning map, that is color-coded, a copy of the plat. One of the questions that came up during the commission, the first
first commission public hearing with by right uses within the B1. Those are included and highlighted in yellow. I think there's 43 of them. I think I counted them up, it's a lot. And then as well as some setback area and frontage regulations. So we do have an excerpt of the planning commission minutes there, and I did get one comment. It was a written comment from Mr. Tiller, and it's included in your packet at the very end, voicing his support for the rezoning. So, happy to answer any questions.
I got, Ms. Crouch, can you
Okay,
go back
let's,
to the map?
let's open the public hearing. That's okay. It's 7:14. I'll open the public hearing now. We didn't have anyone sign up to speak. Mr. Christmas said there was comments included in the packet. Nothing else that needs to be
There's one.
included in the minutes.
Yep, I wanted to voice my support for the rezoning of property located on Caroline Drive, owned by John Coleman, next to my property from M1 to business. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me either by mail or by calling myself. Thank you very much, Randy K. Tiller, Jr.
Thank you. All right, we'll close the public hearing 7:15. Now, council, sorry.
I'm just, when I look at the orange up there, the manufacturing of the business, I didn't realize that it's right next to 211. How do the people, the lot behind the one we're talking about, how do they ever get access to roads? I mean, VDOT's not gonna cut up into the 211 for them to have a business, I wouldn't think.
That's correct. The parcel there, 42A3A19, is owned by Mr. Tiller, who just had a comment there.
That's all the purple there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he also owns the red strip.
Okay, oh,
See, that was all part of the Shank Farm. It went all the way across 211, before 211 was built. All of that was all one big chunk of land. There might have been several parcels in there, but it was owned by one, family. So-
how come we got different zoning on the same parcels?
Well, they put a 4-lane highway through there. Actually, it's two different parcels. Number 8, parcel 8 is a separate parcel from parcel 19.
Okay.
And then 10 is separate from those two. So they're all individual parcels. At some point in time, somebody decided that the zoning should be that. I believe that the zoning for 8 and 10 were remnants of the M1 zoning that was across 211 previously. And it was split off by the installation of a 4-lane highway there. So I think, in this particular case, to me, the zoning is not a regional use issue. It's more of a suitability issue or compatibility issue with existing uses or looking at the existing infrastructure. That, to me, is the issue, and I think that was the majority of the comments that came out of the planning commission.
All right. Cause it looked like you wouldn't be able to build in that if you didn't own the second one beside it.
Well, yeah, that would be back there. That would be effectively, there is a small right-of-way that goes over to Dixon's Ferry, but it actually attaches to parcel 19. So whoever owns those two parcels would have to own them both pretty much,
Do anything.
or sell them both. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're right.
So besides Mr. Tiller's communication that we have, did the planning commission receive any response from neighboring property owners?
No, Mr. Tiller had not submitted his letter by the time they held their public hearing, so we had no comment at their public hearing. The applicant, Mr. Coleman, spoke for a few minutes about, certain things, the use of the property and things like that, but, we did not have any public comment, other than that one speaker who was the agent.
I'm kinda like the planning commission. I'd like to know what they're gonna build there. I mean, do they have to tell us? I don't guess they do.
I've got a different feeling on that. It's when you simply look at the map with what is here, when you go down Caroline Drive, and everything is B1 on the right side. I mean, of course, town owns what's on the left there, but, and you get down to that corner, it just, in my mind, doesn't make sense that BM1, and I understand why it is with 211 splitting it years and years ago, but if we as a town were to take the time or look at our zoning map, and without even a citizen making a request, just look at, hey, what looks right, what looks out of place, what doesn't fit. This in my mind, if I was just looking at a map and Mr. Coleman had never made a request, I'd be like, this doesn't fit down in that corner. And actually what could happen there with M1 would be, I figure would be a negative impact on that area, more so than anything is B1, especially when the rest of it's all B1 existing anyway. So any property that's there now, all those other lots, any one of those people could decide tomorrow to do some type of business there that's allowed under our zoning.
Correct.
And really, Mr. Coleman's not asking for anything else. I don't know what it's gonna be either. But I feel like if, I'm looking at it, is it appropriate for that to be B1 or not? And I think that's the answer, is that yes, it should be B1, looking at everything. Really, what he chooses to do has to comply with our zoning regulations for B1. So really, if he does something that we're shocked with or don't like that it's in B1, then we should have been visiting B1's regulations that for use it's not allowed in B1 or not permitted in B1.
The major difference is that everything in M1 requires a special use permit. So every single use in the M1 would have to come before the planning commission and you folks, be advertised, have all the neighbors identified, they'd all be notified, they'd all get a chance to have comment. With B1, when you change it to B1, you get 43 or 43 by right uses that only require a zoning
Okay.
permit.
But
So
everyone
that's
else
the
up there
major-
has that same option.
That's correct.
All those other properties could do the
Yeah,
same.
exactly.
Right.
On this lot, there's an existing single-family dwelling, two-story dwelling, built a long time ago, long time ago, like some of those other houses on Caroline Drive. So, the original use for the property, had a farmhouse on it at some point in time in the past with summer house or summer kitchen, and, that's what's there now. So, changing the use, it really is not about, to me, it's not about regional zoning or area zoning. I think that's pretty self-evident. The real issue is it compatible, or would that change be compatible with the other adjacent uses that are on that property? You know, you have a church, you have a park, you have a couple of houses that are single-family homes, you have a couple of houses that are short-term rentals, lodging houses. So, there are a couple things going on there, and it's a dead-end road, you know, so, you know, one of the things that we had talked about, planning commission wise, was if you're gonna go from a use that maybe has 8 single-family trips per day, you know, or vehicle trips per day, if you go to a use that has, say, 250 vehicle trips per day, on a dead-end street, that's doubled to 500, because there's nowhere to go but back out the way you came. So you kind of, there is a difference with a dead-end street versus a through street in terms of vehicle trips per
Well,
day.
and if this was not already B1, you know, parcel 50, parcel 44, any of those people could do any of the things we fear
of
could have a huge traffic impact.
That's
They could do it by right. Everyone down there could do it by right,
guess the-
except that one lot.
Well, why do we have private homes in a business zone to begin with?
Because there were private homes before it was zoned.
Just like Main Street.
Okay.
We've got a
Got
ton
it.
of private homes on Main
So
Street.
it goes back to history.
Yes.
And Brian, we were talking about it. Wasn't that Caroline Drive
Caroline Drive
that
was
used
the
to be
main
Main
road.
Street?
That was the main road to the west. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it has that weird angled intersection there, is because West Main Street didn't go on out the other way. It
Yeah.
turned and you went out Cave Hill Road right past the caverns.
So that's another reason that it'd be zone business, because it's
Yeah,
on the main
and
thoroughfare.
That's why, because it was basically sort of like a continuation of business zone Main Street. At that point in time.
Yeah.
And then the real West Main got built later, and then when they put in 211, they added Northcott, you know, and then they made the intersection with Leesville Road. So a lot of stuff has happened over the years. And again, this is more of a reasonable use compatibility issue, versus a regional zoning issue in my mind. by far.
I think taking all the points that were made, which I think were good ones, I guess the functional difference is that is the largest lot on that stretch, and again, it's at the end of that street. So just, I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't want to reserve the right to just have a special use permit for any use there, and just have the conversation at that time instead of with the big question mark. But I mean, that's a difference. I think honestly, if you were gonna actually rezone it in a way that made sense and was intuitive, you probably have everything from the corner with Main Street down to 211 be residential, because that's functionally what it is, and would make the most sense if we were redrawing the lines today.
And that's the big difference with pre-zoning maps versus post-zoning maps. It's not just our opinion now. The owner has to want to do it.
Right.
But
yeah.
for us to come in and force them to do it is pretty much impossible. We did do the voluntary split zone zoning exercise a couple years back. We had quite a few people. The 65 lots that had split zoning on them, I think we got 16 that actually volunteered to go through the process and rezone to one or the other. So that was, but they have to want to do it. They have to apply for us to do it, and things like that.
So, though, again, our recommendation is simply to table this until we get the results back from the planning commission.
Yep, we only have to just hold the public hearing tonight because it was advertised. Really no action is required or even requested because until you get a recommendation from the planning commission, taking action tonight would be, kind of a moot point. Is that right, Jason? Yep.
So all this debate is kind of useless because we're going to go through this debate again when we get back to it. So I'll make the motion that we table this.
I don't think we have.
For motions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one thing. I mean, looking at the M1 uses by permit, I mean, maybe one of them would be something we would want in that area. So, like, you know, it'd be what the lodging houses would probably be about it on that list. So, I see it as upgrading a lot as long as it's not going to be something crazy. And Mr. Coleman indicated that it didn't sound like it's going to be a ton of traffic through there that he's adding. So, I think it's I'll reserve judgment, but it looks pretty good to me so far.
I'd like to make one comment on something else too, that, you know, when we talk about something like that, and mentioning that, what if someone wanted to go ahead and do the business, get a special use permit, and do that, but here's the thing that I think some people are missing. I know an individual's going through the same thing. It hasn't come before town, but you may have a special use permit to operate a business or get permission by special use permit. Well, if you're then doing construction, and you spend $500,000 doing great work in a building, and which is nothing anymore, say $1 million. You do $1 million worth of improvements to that lot, and then your idea of whatever that business is, maybe it's gonna be a huge success, or maybe in 5 years you realize that, you know what, this just isn't turning the profit I thought, it needs to be something else. I wouldn't want to be investing the type of money that I thought every time I wanted to change a business or whatever, I had to jump through the hoops of a special use permit. If it's B1 and you build a structure and you spent the money and you've invested in our town, which we all are talking about, we need to bring business, we'd love to see this and all that. I don't wanna punish someone where if their initial idea 5 or 10 years later is not the success they thought, and now it's back to special use permits again for whoever wants to do something with it again.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
All that capital's been spent.
Is spot rezoning for a use that isn't, the applicant isn't sharing the specific use that they're actually pursuing this sort of spot rezoning for? Is that a common practice? Is that unusual?
It's kind of unusual. All the rezonings that I've worked with within town in the last 2 decades, they've all had a purpose. Like, I wanna rezone this lot, they'd come into the planning commission or you guys and say, I wanna rezone this lot from this to this because I wanna do this. They don't really have to say why, but we've been fortunate that they've given us that so we can make good, evaluative, meaningful, comments. The only one that occurred, and it was really a rezoning to match the use to the actual use of the property, was Fairview Store.
I remember that.
And it was zoned R2, because it's in the sea of R2 residential out there on Fairview Road. But because it'd been a store, and the store predated, the use of that store predated the zoning ordinance of the town, even though the store was relocated out of the middle of the road, they applied. Actually, we ran it through on a town component through the planning commission, from the planning commission, to actually match the zoning of the property to the usage of the property. And so that's the only one that I know of that's in the middle of nowhere with nothing else similar around it that occurred. And it was because it predated our ordinance, and we were just trying to match use to the actual zoning.
Gotcha.
But other than that, normally there's a specific, I wanna do this, so I'd like to rezone it to that. But it's not necessary. Just like voting after a public hearing, we don't have to do that. We just normally do that. But in this case tonight, we're not doing that, so.
Well, if this is a mute point or not, this discussion is a learning experience for a whole lot of ways. I think people watching this, they learn stuff.
Okay, if no further discussion, we can move on. Discussion items, item A, IRF grant loan award, Mr. Chrisman.
Well, Brad already stole my thunder because I let him have it during the general citizen comment, but, bottom line is, as you guys are aware, we actually got the governor's, announcement a little bit before the letter from the DACD, which usually doesn't happen in that order. Usually we get a notification first, but it didn't happen this time. In fact, my first notification was Friday when I was out of the office, and I got an email from somebody, that said, hey, I think we might have won this thing. And sure enough, we had. So, included in your packet is the governor's list. the letter from DHCD, as well as the project summary that came out of the application, which holds a lot of strong figures there. Sarah Dunnigan sent a letter to the mayor, and that's also included. So, in terms of what our next steps would be, we're gonna continue to work with Brad and his group on site plan and try to advance those topics a little bit. They're gonna be doing some work of their own. We're looking at things like utilities and site layout, which I think that you guys will be pleased with. As soon as I get an exhibit, I'll share that with you. So it's a rework of what we've seen before, but it actually ends up in a net result of positive parking spaces available in that lot, as well as great co-location of gas tank, trash dumpsters, things like that that are out of the way, put in out of the way areas. So we want to deal with those, but it still accomplishes what they're trying to do. So I think all in all, it will be a good, a great addition actually to that area over there. So we'll look at that as soon as I get that. We have not received a formal grant agreement or the acceptance paperwork yet. So that'll come, DHCD will give that to us. Normally, we don't get the Bible, which is this big book of, for every project. We won't get that right away. We'll get some of the summaries. But that's important because it contains a lot of fine print to the things that I need to review and that Jason Watkins needs to review to make sure that we advise you people, yeah, this is something we should sign on the dotted line and accept. Or, which I would be shocked if it isn't, but, cause they've had decades to straighten all this out. DHCD is usually fairly straightforward to deal with, but we do wanna check that before, we give it to you guys to take action on. So we'll be doing that as soon as we receive that information. So that would be the next step. Financially speaking, obviously, we had talked about this prior to budget adoption, but if we do accept that award, we will have to amend our budget, because this is a significant chunk of money. It's not just adding a couple $1,000 for some, safety vest. We'll establish the need, then that way that allows Danielle to establish the need revenue and expenditure GL entries, as well as a special account for receipt and disbursement of funds, for the project. Since this award exceeds the $750,000 threshold by the IRS, it will require a single audit. So that will require us to pay a little bit extra on our audit each year, but I think in the end, it's well worth it for the outcome that we're gonna get. FY '27 budget will likely have the same elements, but maybe smaller dollar values when we get to there, just in case we're gonna carry over, because I think if 18 months from the acquisition of the general contractor to complete the task, you guys are looking at a 12 to 14 month window. Okay, so we'll be looking at that, and then most importantly, for us moving forward, once the 15 Campbell Street is done and a huge success, then the loan pool becomes available, very similar to our CDBG loan pool we have now, just with a whole lot more money. And we'll be bouncing IRF eligible projects off DHCD to see if they give their blessing. If they do, I would recommend we follow the exact same process that we did with this project, because all the kinks have already been worked out. I don't see any reason why we would change that moving forward on a new loan submittal. And we don't have to wait until we get all the $1 million back. If we get $350,000 paid back, and somebody comes in and wants a $300,000 IRF eligible loan, we can go ahead and turn around and loan that money right back out again.
That's good.
But it says we have to hold on to it until we get the whole value. So it's a domino effect, but a good one. And that's why I tried to get across to Zach at Patient News and Courier. I was like, this thing has legs. This thing is gonna grow into Luray's future for decades. And we'll see the benefit from this. So, very excited about moving forward with this. And Brad, do you have anything else you wanna say? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them for you.
Anything else, council?
I'm just thrilled with the approval.
All right, next we have action items, BZA appointment recommendation, Mr. Vickers.
I met Mr. Crawford, and he is willing to be on the Board of Zoning Appeals, so I move that the council recommend that Jeff Crawford be appointed to the BZA for the term commencing upon his appointment and qualifications and expiring on June 30th, 2026.
Second.
We have first and second, any discussion? Danielle, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Mr. Dolphmeyer?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Pettit?
Yes.
Mr. Sowers?
Yes.
Very good. We thank Mr. Crawford for his willingness to serve. Next, we have Town Attorney's Report. Mr. Botkins, you have anything for us?
I don't have any tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Council comments?
Yeah, I have one, actually maybe two. In regards to the policy, like legislative action, now I'm forgetting what that's called. I've
Legislative
drafted some things,
priorities.
yes, legislative priorities list. I talked to Brian, he had some ideas, drafted some stuff, you know, more tools on the vacant and derelict buildings, because we hit some roadblocks there. A number of things that would just make our jobs easier, so I'll make sure everybody can see that next month. I have a little bit of an announcement, which I've shared with everybody individually, which is that I thought maybe I could swing coming back for some meetings and making things work through January with law school and going up to Yale and everything. Doesn't look like logistically that's going to work well, so I've talked to Jason Botkins, I've talked to Brian, and figured out a plan where basically I'm participating tonight, be able to fully participate in discussion and voting in the September meetings, and then maybe make the end of my term effective around October 7th or 8th, which will give you all the week lead time before October 15th to say we're going to start discussing a replacement, and then you guys can get that replacement hopefully before the craziness of the holidays. And actually, the calendar works really well to where that person will be able to serve a year and some change and run in the next November election. Jason and I have covered this, instead of that person having to, you know, be appointed and run in 2 months and it just be a mess. So trying to make it as smooth as possible for the rest of council, but it's a bummer. I really enjoy what we do. I think we've done a lot of really good things, and I'm just thankful for you guys for giving me a shot as a young person who didn't know what he was doing and being some of the greatest colleagues I've ever worked with in any role. So I just thank y'all very much, and the staff too, best staff, because that makes all the difference.
Good luck to you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mayor, I'd like to compliment the chief on the National Night Out. I thought that went very well. Do you think you got more people over there than you did on the Greenway? I was there early, and the crowd was kind of building.
Set up, it's hard to tell. I think we had a good turnout. There's obviously some adjustments we can make.
Yeah.
In fact, right now we're planning to back over at the Ralph King, but there is the option of shutting that actually parking lot, maybe shutting down the King Street. And that's a little tighter. Just still growing, but it's my staff. I kind of sit back. They told me I might micromanage too much. So I let them do that.
Vendors were happy.
Yeah. Oh, no, they did really well. Actually, that was shocked. The food vendors, I was a little worried about that. But no, they were really pleased.
Awesome.
Any other comments from council? I don't have anything. Brian, is there anything that I might be forgetting?
Fair's coming up. We'll have, for the first time, this is the first year in a long time I can remember, we're gonna have an August work session.
Yep.
Because normally it's a conflict, but the way the calendar worked out this year, we're gonna have an August work session. So we'll have a couple items on there. Jackie mentioned, one of those. We have a couple others, that are important. And, but yeah, the fair's coming up 16th, and then of course we have the triathlons, weekend right before that. So, we've got a couple things going on, but we try to include those in your, Jen tries to do a real good job of putting that in her, weekly portion of the weekly report, to let you, give you guys a good look ahead. So if you need anything or have any questions, as always, just.
What was the decision on the message board? They decided to stay with what
Oh,
We
yes.
stayed with the policy, really, I kind of was gonna lean that way anyway, but I just wanted to see if you guys had strong feelings either way about that. Normally, I try to stay with what we typically do. It's a lot easier to do it that way than big exceptions. Yeah, so, exactly. So, we're gonna be working with them. We did provide some electronic components on our Parks and Recreation for area events, electronically, because that's easy to do. And the fair is kind of a unique scenario. Nobody else puts on anything like that. So, we're working with our portable changeable message signs. Every one of those is gonna have, the opening screen is gonna have the dates of the fair on it. And then the second screen would be the directional, turn, next left on Collins, next right on Collins, wherever. Just try to get people to the fair easier and better. And then on Collins Avenue, both ends, it's really about letting people know there's an event ahead and please slow down. That is our number one message on Collins from both ends. So we're gonna try to work with them on that. We got an idea about event banners in the future. Gonna be working with Mr. Botkins on that. Sign ordinance changes, which were reviewed and ad nauseum, and are done, except for potentially this one issue, will be coming to you folks probably at your, we'll start that through the process at the October and then November meetings. So we'll go to planning commission October and then November to you folks. So, we've got an idea there we get a lot of requests for special events. And we're not allowed to do anything for them because they're all off-premises signs. And, we'd like to maybe pick 4 spots in town and, build a sign, base and let groups have up to 15 days to put a banner there, and they would do it through a temporary permit with no fee, and then we take them down, and of course, the backside of that could have a continual message on it, for all visitors to Luray. If there's not banners there, you would see something else. So, if we're able to legally do that, we're gonna try to work that in, so that's the one request that we get a lot, is nonprofits wanting to hold special events, and we just don't have a way under the current ordinance to accommodate them. And we wanna see if we can get something that allows us to meet state code regulations and Supreme Court rulings, but still serve the customer and the citizens in Luray. So, other than that, we're gonna work with them best we can within the limits of what we can.
We appreciate that thoughtfulness. Thank you, Brian. All right, well, hearing nothing else, council?
I actually have one more.
Oh.
I had mentioned
Oh, wait,
to-
wait, no, just go ahead.
Hey, that would be appropriate. That would be appropriate. I had mentioned to a couple of y'all when I talked that I was spoke to a potential appointee to try to make that even easier for everybody. He reached out to me today before we spoke, so I didn't mention him to you, and will not be able to do it. So, but I'll be brainstorming and trying to help however I can.
And I probably missed this, Mayor. Did we reschedule the meeting that will conflict with VML?
It is
when
scheduled
do we
for
go back?
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
the 15th, and it will be scheduled for the Wednesday. I think that's the 15th, right, Daniel? So Wednesday.
I probably missed that, I'm
I think,
Planning
I believe
Commission
that is
gets
right.
moved to Thursday, the 16th, so that's a change. It'll match what we did this past year, which is we moved everything back one day. Because Monday's a holiday, Tuesday's a travel day for a lot of you coming back from VML. 15th will be the meeting. So night of the 15th will be the council meeting in October, and then the planning commission meeting will be the next night, 16th. And Mr. Watkins can attend, that meeting as well, and check with him, so he'll be available on the 15th. But yeah, good question.
All right,
All right, hurry up and hit
we're
it.
adjourned. Yeah, I'm not asking anymore.